Modifying an arcade 1-up is one of those things you either love, hate, or wish you could do but have no idea where to start. I've seen videos of people adding everything from LED buttons to a whole mini fridge in the bottom half of the cabinet. Today I'm going to go over a simple mod that's really scary to a lot of people, myself included. I know my way around tools and I have a fight stick of my own that I've made a couple mods to, so this should be pretty simple. Hey everyone, my name is ColdSpace and this is how to swap Sanwa buttons into your arcade 1-up cabinet. Here's what you need to do everything that I did in this video. The list will be down in the description along with Amazon links in case you want to pick anything up yourself. First up, we're going to need a power drill. It just makes it a lot easier taking off the screws, and also you need it to drill the holes. A 30mm drill step bit, painter's tape and a marker, and a set of Sanwa buttons. Before you start, you're going to want to unplug your cabinet. Next, you're going to want to take off the 4 screws on the top that holds the buttons in place. Make sure to keep all screws in a safe location, that way you don't lose anything. But after those 4 screws are off, you can easily lift the whole unit, and make sure to be careful when you're turning it around because it's still connected by 2 cables. That's the ribbon cable that connects all the buttons, and also a smaller cable for the LED lights. Next, you're going to want to grab some painter's tape. You're going to carefully put this along the edges. After you're done doing this, what you're going to do is flip the unit around backwards and place it in the same spot. The tape is just there to help protect it and hopefully not scratch the front. With the back exposed, you can easily take off the screws and get into the guts. After you remove the 6 screws, you're going to want to put them in a safe place, and then you can easily remove the plastic covering. There might be some adhesive, so don't be scared to pull on it. With everything exposed, you can see how everything is connected. If this is already scaring you off, just relax. We haven't even started yet. Remember, since we flipped the unit around, all the buttons are swapped, so I put these little stickers here just to help me remember which side is which. You don't have to do this, but it's helpful. At the bottom of each button, there are 2 wires that you're going to have to disconnect. Make a simple sticker and connect both wires, that way you don't have to keep track of every single button. They should slide off really easy, but if they get stuck, don't be scared to pull on it. Keep doing this for each and every button, and if you get stuck on one, just forget about it, keep moving on, and then come back to it after. Both of the blue buttons gave me issues, and I ended up snapping a piece off the bottom blue one. Since I'm not going to reuse these buttons, it doesn't really matter. It probably got really clamped down in assembly, and I grabbed this little thing, but you can use like a needle or a small nail, something just to wedge it loose. It's basically a clamp, so you just have to open it up a little bit and try to slide that little thing out. Once the cables are removed, pinch the 2 clips on the sides of each button while simultaneously pushing down to remove the button. I actually push it around halfway, then I stick my hand under the unit and continue to push it all the way through so I can catch it. When compared side by side, you can see how short the Sanwa is, and it doesn't completely clip all the way through, but it does fit snug and proper. Remove all remaining buttons and get ready to drill. Just for fun, I tried to see if I could squeeze the Sanwa button in there, and you could probably do it, but I wouldn't advise it. It's super tight and you might fuck up the button. I put the step bit in there just to see what size it is, and it's about a 29. I was a little nervous about pushing the step bit too far, but it actually wasn't that hard. I actually only pushed it down about halfway because if I would have pushed it all the way through, it would have made the top part bigger than the bottom, so I just left it like that. The button actually fit perfectly, and it was still pretty tight pushing it all the way through. Pressing these buttons side by side, you can really tell the difference. Anyways, continue drilling until you're finished. With all the leftover dust, I just took it outside and dusted it off. It didn't get that dirty, but you can vacuum in if you really want to. I only have enough spare parts for player 1 side. This isn't the color scheme I'm going to stay with, it's just what I have available. Before installing the buttons, I'm going to add these little foam pads. They're silencers. They go in between the buttons and help reduce the noise when you're mashing. In case any of you guys are wondering where I got this stuff, Head over to focusattack.com. I'm gonna put a link in the description. They have everything you guys need, all kinds of buttons, all kinds of brands, all kinds of finishes, everything you guys would want. Just head over there. It's not a sponsor, I just think they have really cool shit. Anyways, now that everything's dusted off, put the buttons in the order that you want them and gently press them in one by one. I found this black ball top and I decided to swap it out for the stock one, and it made a huge difference. If you're scared of swapping out your stick, just doing this alone is gonna make a huge difference. Now that everything is clean and put in its place, we're gonna flip the unit over and start connecting all the buttons. When connecting the wires back to the buttons, just make sure that you firmly push it down and you're gonna feel a little click. Since you're pushing down, the button might slip out because it's not as long as the stock buttons. So what you're gonna have to do is, again, put your hand under and hold the button so you can firmly press it in. After you're done with all the buttons, it should look like this. You can really tell the difference when you see the stock buttons next to the Sanwa side by side. Now that everything is complete, we're gonna flip this back over and start to reassemble everything. Place the lid on the back panel back in place and make sure that the ribbon cable lines up. Now carefully fasten the 6 screws and make sure you don't trap the LED cable that's loose inside of the plastic while you're doing this. Set the unit to the side, remove the tape that we laid down earlier, then you're gonna put it back in place and get it ready for the last 4 screws that go on top. Place the 4 screws in place and carefully fasten them. Make sure not to do it too hard because you run the risk of damaging the plastic. Almost done. Now we have to unscrew the back and gain access to the ribbon cable and the LED panel cable that are hanging loose. Now that all that's connected, you can seal it back up and we're done. You're probably asking yourself, is it worth it? Should I even do all this work? Is it that big of a difference? Yes and no. You can feel a huge difference compared to the stock buttons. It's way more comfortable and you can feel the slightest difference in reaction time. On top of that, you have the option of choosing any color scheme you want and just making the cabinet your own. I did see an interview with the top player at the moment, which is Eddie Good 86. He's dominating the leaderboards with a completely stock cabinet. At the end of the day, no upgrade is gonna make you a better player. You have to put in the time and work to learn the characters, learn the moves, and just get better. With all that said, I can't wait to finish upgrading my cabinet. It is kind of a waste upgrading the player 2 side because I really don't have anyone to play with. Everyone else really sucks, but it's still something really nice to look at and it's something I take pride in. Everyone has a hobby, everyone has a thing they like, and this is something that I really like. So is the mod worth it? To me, yes. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. Hopefully you guys learned something. I know there's a bunch of nerds out there that know way more stuff than I do, so please put it in the comments. I know you guys have a bunch of stuff to say, but thanks again. I will be making another video showing how I upgrade the joysticks to a Sanwa joystick. I'm not really sure when I'm gonna get to that because I have to order the part and then find out which cable I need, blah, blah, blah. Follow me on Instagram to get more up-to-date stuff. I do a lot of music production stuff. If you guys like the song you're hearing or on any of my videos, I produce everything and I'm gonna start making tutorials and stuff like that. So if that interests you, follow, subscribe, all that shit. Thanks a lot. My name is ColdSpace and I'll catch you guys on the next one.